some milkweed in Central Park, which will bloom later in the summer, just south of the tennis courts in the park. And we wanted to just look at another little service here. 1864, the pump house at the reservoir that delivered water from the Croton Aqueduct down to the grand reservoir that we have here today. And of course, we don't use the water from this anymore, and the Croton Aqueduct is not flowing through the original pipes. But this was an important spot for regulating supply, and as we can see, it's a massive, very serious granite. No mistaking this rock. And it's been partially dressed, that's the light right language, on the outside, give it like a rustic look, and it has a nice apron on the bottom with an adjacent granite, which is not the same. You can see this is more of a pink granite, more feldspar of pink nature that forms the wall and fencing around the reservoir. So your blockhouse, one of two at the north end of the park. A piece of clover here. While we pan up to take a look at the second of the Central Park Reservoir pump houses. I think I called it a block house before, but it's a pump house. Now, I'm not sure if this is distributing water out of the reservoir in the early 20th century, late 18th and 19th, or whether it is regulating water in. But again, it's the massive granite that we had in the other, with some decorative elements. And clearly the people running the city at the time wanted this to have some architectural interest, even though now it's not looking so fresh. Now we're on the south end of the reservoir. I believe that's a viburnum of some kind. And we've got the south, they call gatehouse of the reservoir, showing the time and the date that this was built. Another massive blocks of granite. This is the pinky granite that we saw for the walls at the north end. And then up, the gatehouse itself is a gray granite with quartz potassium feldspar. The tree in the foreground here is a linden. It's about to bloom. It's a smell of mid-June to late June. And I'm looking this way because the reservoir actually used to continue with another reservoir, as it were, rectangular to the south here, just over the bridge, and basically I think where the Metropolitan Museum is now. But that's long gone. And this building is long out of use. But here is your granite. And same as the north end, there's these, what they call dressed blocks, to look rough, like they were just cut out of the quarry and then smooth. Bless me. Blockhouse and the reservoir itself. There's no fountain today. When I realized I just had sneezed and I didn't have my mask on, and I didn't even think about it. I'm a pariah. Well, let's hope we can stop doing and worrying about that someday.